Hello everyone, welcome to Python application programming lecture series. In this lecture video, we are going to discuss about file handling and how to open the files by using Python. File handling is an important requirement of any programming language as it allows us to store the data permanently on the secondary storage and read the data from a permanent source. Here we will discuss how to perform the various operations on files using programming language Python. The programs that we have considered till now are based on console. The consoles are input and output. That is, the input was taken from the keyboard and output was displayed on the monitor. When the data to be read from the keyboard is very large, console input becomes a laborious job. Also, the output of the result of the program has to be used for some other purpose later. It has to be stored permanently. Hence, reading, writing from to file are very essential requirement of the programming. Now we will see how to open the files. To perform any operations on a file, the one must open a file. The file opening involves a communication with operating system. In Python, a file can be opened using a built-in function open parenthesis. While opening a file, we must specify the name of the file to be opened. Also, we must inform the OS about the purpose of opening a file, which is termed as a file opening mode. The syntax of the open function is something like this. So f is equal to open. So open is the built-in function. So this function is allows the two parameters. So two arguments. The first argument is file name. So within a quote we have to specify after that. So we have to specify the mode of operation. So mode of operation and file name we have to enter within a quote. So whether it's a single quote or double quote. So here the file name is a name of the file to be opened. This string may be just a name of the file or it may include path name also. The path name of the file is optional when the file is stored in a current working directory. So otherwise we have to specify the path. The mode is the string is indicate the purpose of opening a file. It takes a predefined set of values. F, it is a reference to an object of a file class which act as the handler or tool for the further operations on file. When our Python program makes a request to open a specific file in a particular mode, then OS will try to serve the request. When the file gets opened successfully, then a first object is returned. This is known as file handle and it's shown in this figure. So here the file handling keywords are open, close, read and write. It will help to perform a various operation on a file through our program. If the file can't be opened due to some reason, the error message or trace back will be displayed. A file opening may cause an error due to some of the reason as listed below. The first one is file may not exist in the specific path when we try to read a file. The file may exist, but we may not have a permission to read or write a file. The file might have got corrupted and may not be on a opening state. Now we will see the accessing modes. The Python, it supports two types of file. The first one is text file and second is binary file. The text file modes are R, W, A, R plus, W plus and A plus. And binary file modes are RB, WB, AB, RB plus, WB plus and AB plus. So for example, if you specify R, so the function of this mode is the read only mode, read mode. The file must, if you want to use this, the file must be exists. Otherwise, Python raises the input output error. The next mode is W and W. So W is the write only. If file not exists, the file is created. If file exists, Python will truncate existing data and override the files. So if you use so append mode string is A. So A is A for text file and AB for binary file. So here if you use the append, the file is in write mode only. New data will be added to the end of the existing data, that is no overwriting. If file not exist, it is created. So next modes are R plus and RB plus. So R plus and RB plus are the read and write modes. If you want to use this mode, the file must exist, otherwise error is raised. Both reading and writing can take place. So if you use W plus or WB plus are the write and read modes. If file is created, if not exist. So if exist, data will be truncated. Both read and write is allowed. The next modes are A plus and AB plus. So A plus for text file and AB plus for binary files. So these two are the write and read mode strings. So here the A plus and AB plus are same as above, but previous content will be retained and both read and write. So these are some file accessing modes in Python. In Python file handling, we have to follow some procedure. The first step is opening the file. So we should first open the file for read or write by specifying the name of the file and mode. Next step is performing read or write. Once the file is opened, now we can either read or write for which file is opened using various functions available. The next step is closing file. After performing operations, we must close the file and release the file for other application to use. The first step is opening file and next step is performing read or write and next is closing file. So these are the steps involving in Python file handling. Now we will see how to open the files in Python. So this is my file. I name it as cc.txt and this is my text file. The file content is hello, how are you, fine, what about you. This is my file content and file name is cc.txt. So if you want to open this file, so first I have to specify the file variable and our object. The object is f is equal to, after that I am using built-in function open text file name. So text file name is cc.txt. so this instruction is open the file. The code above is same as, so this is the one method. So another method is f is equal to open cec.txt comma rt or open cec.txt comma r. So this is the mode. R is the read mode, and this cc.txt is the file name, and open is the built-in function. So here, because R for the read and T for the text are the default value, you do not need to specify the T value. So note that, make sure the file exists or else you will get the error. So if file already exists, so we can use this instruction. So otherwise the Python interpreter will give the traceback error. The open function returns a file objects which has to read method for reading the content of the file. So for example, so let us assume we have a file. So this is the file and file name is cc.txt. The file is located in the same folder as Python. So my Python program I stored in the same directory, and my text file is saved it in same directory. The file paths are same. So in this case, so we can say, so open cec.text, this is a file name, comma r. After that, so we have to print the file name. So print, and file name it's f here, f dot, and the function is read. Read is the built-in function. So these two instructions will opens the text file. When the text file and Python programming file in a same folder. So otherwise so we have to give the file path. So if the file is located in a different location, for example our Python program we stored in C drive and our text file we stored in D drive. So in this case we have to specify the text file path. So if the file is located in a different location, you will have to specify the path. So for example, you take f is the file variable is equal to open. So here, so instead of file name, we have to specify the file path. So file path is C, I stored in C drive, folder is user, and name is Vinay, desktop, and cec.txt. This is the file path, and mode is read mode. So after that, so I instructed a Python to print the file content. The file also here the print of f.read. So read is the built-in function. So this instruction is print the file content, and this instruction is access the file, and this instruction is print the file content. Let's try this in Python interpreter.
As this is my ideal shell, so here you go to file and you open on new file. So here, so I want to access my desktop text file by using Python. So this is my file, so this is my text file. So and folder name is Python new. So here I stored my text file. So and this is the text content: hello, how are you, fine, and what about you. So I want to access this content by using Python code. So this is my ideal shell. So here I opened one new file. So if you want to open any file, first we have to specify the file variable. So I name it as f is equal to, after that I am going to use one built-in function open. Then I have to specify the file name. So file name is cec.txt. So within a quote we have to specify. Then so accessing mode is read mode. So I want to specify the r. Then so I want to print the content. I want to print the file content. So print the file name is f dot read. So now you run this. So before running, before running the code, so we have to store. So here I am going to store in same folder, so desktop and new python. So here file type is python file and I name it as sample. Save here. So after running the code, so python interpreter will print the file content. The content is hello, how are you, file, and what about you. So here this instruction f is equal to open cec.txt, or it's access the file, and second instruction will print the file text file content. So here in this particular case, so I stored python file and text file in same folder. So if you stored in same folder, so we can access by using file name. So if you stored our python file in C drive and text file in D drive, so in this case, so instead of file name, so here we have to specify the file path.
So by default, read method returns a whole content. So this is my text file and this is the text content. Hello, how are you? Fine. What about you? If you print file name, file, and if you assign the read function, so this function will return the whole text. But you can also specify how many character you want to return. So for example, so I want to return the 10 first character of the file. So here, so first I want to access the file. So for accessing, first we have to specify the file variable. F is equal to open. Open is the built-in function. So after that we have to specify the two argument. The first argument is file name. The file name is cec.txt and this is the file name cec.txt and mode is read mode. After that, so we are going to print the file content. Print f dot read function. So read is the file built-in function. So it will read the file text file content. So in that, so we have to specify the character. So here I specified 10. So this instruction, it's going to print the first 10 character in our file. So if you want to print first 20 character instead of 10, we have to specify the 20. So read lines, so you can return. So read line is another built-in function in files. So it returns one line by using the read line methods. So this is another built-in function. So by using this built-in function, we can print the line by line by lines. So here this is my file. So here this is the first line, hello is the first line, and this is second line, and fine is the third line, and this is the fourth line. So by using this, so we can print the first line of the file content. So for example, so here by using this instruction, we access the file. After that, we are going to print f dot read line. So this is the file function, built-in function. So the use case of this function is to print the file content in line wise. So this instruction is going to print the first line. So if you want to print second line, again we have to print f dot read line. So if you assign again, so it will print the second line. So let's try this use cases in interpreter.
So using this first instruction, we can access the file, and file I name it as cc.txt, and mode is read mode, and open is the built-in function, and file variable I name it as f. After that, so I'm going to print the file content. So if I say print f.read, so it will print entire entire contents available in our text file. So I want to print some part or some portion of the text file. So here I'm using, instead of read function, so inside the read, so we have to specify the number of characters. Let's say, so number of character is 3. So this instruction, so read of 3, so it's going to print first 3 characters in our file. So now you run this code, so it's going to print first 3 character in our file. So HEL is the first 3 character. So our file, it consists of hello, how are you, fine, what about you. So if I say read of 3, so it's going to print first 3 character. So first 3 character first 3 character in our files are HEL. So it's the interpreter is going to print HEL. So if I say read of 5, it's going to print first 5 character. So if I say read of 20, it's going to print first 20 character. So if you want to print line by line, so we can use read line function. So here, so instead of read, just you specify the read line. So read line is the file built-in function. So read line, so this instruction, so it's going to print the first line in our file content. So run this. So it's going to print first line. So hello, so this is the first line, and this is the second line, and this is the third line, and this is the fourth line. So read line, it's going to print the first line in our text file.
So if you want to read the two line of the file, so we can use, so or we can call the read line function 2 times. So you can read the two first line. So for example, you take f is equal to open cc.text. So this is my file name and mode is read. So after that I'm going to call print f dot read line. So this instruction is going to print first line, and again I'm going to print f dot read line. So this instruction is going to print second line. So if you call one more print f dot read line, so this instruction is going to print third line. So by calling read line function 2 times, so you can read the two first line. So by calling read line 3 times, so you can read the 3 first lines. So by looping through the lines of the file, so you can read the whole file by line. So for example, so f is equal to open cc, so this is the file name and mode is read mode. So after that I'm going to declare loop, the for loop, and x is the loop variable in f. So f is the file variable and x is the looping variable. For and in are the keywords. After that I'm going to print x. So this code is going to print all contents all contents available in our file. The file is cec.txt. After performing the files, so we have to close the files. The closing the file is a good practice to always close the file when you are done with it. So for example, so this instruction is going to print the first line of the file, first line of the file content. So after that, so we have to close the file by using close function. So note that you should always close your files. In some cases, due to buffering, changes made to a file may not show until you close the file. So once you close the file, the updation are edited or appended values are updated in our original files. So let's consider one example. So this Python script file, it's count the lines. So for example, this is my file. I name it as cec.text and file contents are hello, how are you, fine, whatever you, and hello is in first line and how are you is in second line, fine is in third line, and what about you is in fourth line. So this Python script, it's going to print the file content in line by line. So after all iteration, it's going to print the number of lines. So first iteration, it's going to print the line 1, and second iteration it's going to print line 2, next iteration is going to print line 3, next iteration is going to print line 4. After all iteration, it's going to print the total number of lines. So in this particular case, so total number of lines are 4. So here I'm going to access the file. So by using variable name, file variable name it as f is equal to open, file name is cec.txt and mode is read mode. So before initializing the loop, so I am assigning the count value as 0. After that, so after that I am going to declare the loop. For loop is for loop and loop variable is line in file name. So yeah, after that I'm going to update the count. So count is equal to count plus 1 or count plus is equal to 1. So after that I'm going to print line number count. So this is the count value. So first iteration, so before iteration count value is 0, after first iteration count value is 1, after second iteration count value is 2, next iteration count value is 4, after 3, after fourth iteration counted value is 4. So it's going to print this. So after all iteration it's going to print the total lines. So after all iteration, the counted value is 4. So after that I am going to close the file. So if you run this, it's going to print line 1, it's going to print hello, and line 2 it's going to print how are you, and line 3 it's going to print fine, and line 4 it's going to print what about you, and total count is 4.
So let's try this in interpreter. So this is my Python script. It's this script or this code, it's going to print the file content in line by line. After all iteration, it's going to print the total number of lines. So here, here this instruction is going to access the file. So here I'm using open is the built-in function. After that I'm passing the parameters. The first parameter is file name. I name it as cec.txt and mode is read mode. So before declaring the loop, I am assigning the count value. Assigning the count value, and initial count value is 0. After that I am going to declare the loop, for loop, and line is the loop variable and file is the f is the file variable. So after that I am going to update the iterated count value. So count is equal to count plus 1 or count plus is equal to 1. So after that I am going to print so line number count value and line. So for example, first iteration count value is 1, and after that it's going to print the line content. Second iteration the count value is 2, it's going to print the line 2 content. So next iteration the count value is 3, it's going to print line 3 content. So next iteration the count value is 4, it's going to print the line 4 content. So after all iteration it's going to print the total number of lines. So just you run this, so it's going to print. So in first iteration it's going to print line number 1 and content is hello, and line number 2 the content is how are you, line number 3 the content is fine, and line number 4 the content is what about you. So after all iteration it's going to print the total number of lines. The total number available lines are 4.
These are some references. Thank you.